time for illegal ham in the face. But bro, where's the banjo?
Some Cleveland sports shows try to give you hot takes, but only one can give you a big old piece of hot ham. Welcome to Illegal Ham to the Face. Talking all Cleveland sports. And don't forget our Fat Boy Tuesday, where we also ham it up with some fun food topics. Without further ado, let's serve up some ham. Here are the Ham Boys, Fatty, and Big Bry.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome on into the 2024 Halloween special of Illegal Ham to the Face. I am Jared Fatty Bates. He is Big Bry. What is going on, brother?
Hey, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good, buddy. Doing good. Went home this weekend, had a little resting, relaxing. Got to see some family, see my dad and my aunt, and spend some time with them. Got some shout-outs here a little bit later on that you're going to enjoy because some places that you might have to go check out at some point in time now that you are a family man and you love food like I do. I'm pretty sure you're going to love this combination. But our show is brought to you by Harold Keel and Lake Erie APA, also City Dogs Cleveland, and we are part of Network 216. We are going to be talking a Browns win tonight, which kind of shocked both of us. Cavs hot start. We are going to get into some Halloween food topics. Also, we're going to give our top 3 Halloween movies that we're watching when it is Halloween. And, Brian, it is your turn for trivia this week, which we still have McCarty still in the kennel. Need to get him out of there. They are in second place of the Embrace Challenge. I believe it ends this weekend. So, please, if you guys can help, go to Friends of City Dogs or City Dogs Cleveland Facebook page. Everything is right on there. You can find out how to help them out. So please help them out the best you can. All right, Bri. Bri, do you have any shout outs this week, brother?
Yeah, I got one quick one. Over the weekend was my mom's birthday. So she turned 10 years old and she was in Seattle for her birthday, spending some time with some college friends. So I didn't get a chance to see her. But she flies back tonight, so we'll do some celebrate maybe at the end of this week or this weekend. So, yep, love you, Mom. Happy birthday.
Did she toss some fish out there?
We'll see. I don't know. She was only out there for a few days, so she missed her flight on, what was it, Friday? Friday morning, she had like a 6:30 flight, and she got to the airport at like 4:30, and they were calling people onto the plane, and she missed them call her section, and she goes up there and they're like, oh, ma'am, we can't let you on. So she had to get a flight from Cleveland to Dallas, and then from Dallas up to San Francisco or Seattle. So she spent most of her Friday on a plane and in airports. So not off to a great start, but hopefully it got better from there.
Yeah, let's pray that it did get better from there. You got any more, brother? Or is that just Mama's birthday?
That's all.
All right. Well,
yep.
Happy birthday, Mama. I got a shout out. I went back home, Bri. I got to shout out the Coshocton Church of Christ first. Went there for the sermon on Sunday. And then also they had a trunk for treat on Saturday there at the church where we took the kids and got to see everybody. I got to shout out my dad and my aunt. We drove. Buddy, we went all through Amish country, and I'm not going to lie, not like a little bit Amish country. Like, we went through towns that should not be towns Amish country. Like, you blink and you pass it, and you're like, was that a town? But we went to Hirschberger's Farm, which is up by Walnut. Huge farm, Bride. The boys got an Amish buggy ride. They have a petting zoo. They have goats that are on the roof. They have a horse on the second level, because that's where he likes to be at, I guess. They have a bakery. They have food trucks. Worse than Chai Lai. Yes. And I know it's pronounced chili. it is Chai Lai, and we went through Chai Lai, Justin. So that's kind of where we went to. But if you go there, it's great food. They have food trucks there. It's pretty much like Mapleside, like during the that kind of stuff. They got the pumpkin patch. They got all the other stuff there, and it's a really nice place, Brian. A lot of stuff that you could do with your kids right there, and plus some great shopping there too. Like a lot of handmade wooden stuff. Like we got a gumball machine that Charlie wanted, and then we got some other things that pronounced it correctly. Well, it's Chai Lai. That's how everybody's told me to pronounce it my entire life. But then we went to a place in Mount Hope, Ohio. Now, Brian, this is a little village out probably 30 minutes away from Sugar Creek area.
Yep.
We went to Miss Yoder's restaurant. Bri, hands down, some of the best fried chicken I've ever had.
Can't imagine it's bad.
Miss
Yoder knows how to do it.
Bri, they had a buffet. And it was $17 for this buffet. You get salad bar, the buffet bar. Bri, they made homemade stuffing, their own homemade stuffing, the noodles, the gravy, the taters, fried chicken. They had lasagna there for the kids. They had fried perch up there. But Bri, that fried chicken, it was like not super breaded fried chicken, but it was like the seasonings that were on it that were just like it floored me, Brian. My dad's like, "You want to go up here?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, we're going to try this." And as soon as I took the first bite, I looked at my dad. I'm like, "Yeah, this is worth." Like we got there at noon on Saturday, Bri. Waited for about 30 minutes for our table. There was a line all the way around the building. That's how packed this place was. And then also
well known, I guess,
because I got the peanut butter cream pie.
Oh
yeah. So it was a great trip all around. I got to thank my dad and my aunt for a great time. We also got some Amici's pizza there in West Lafayette, which they got some really good pizzas, sweet sauce, and they cut their pizza weird down there. They come like breadsticks. I don't know why they come like breadsticks.
Huh. That's not bad. I probably prefer that to square pieces. I'm not a huge fan of the square pieces.
Well, it's thin crust where you could do the square pizzas. Like, that's what I kind of think of. But like they cut them in like little strips, and they're only like this big, and it's just like by the time you get like three things, it's like half the pizza's gone. So
I see. Yeah,
Eric,
tough.
I apologize. I have not gotten back to you about the whole parking thing. Like I said, I was down south, so he went to the game on Saturday. Buffalo fan went to the game Sunday with the White's family, so he had a good
nice
time. So
yeah. You brought up Mapleside. Mapleside made the broadcast. Did you see that?
I did not. Did it show everything in Mapleside?
No, I think they were just like in the front yard. They were in the area where there are pumpkins and all sorts of kids stuff. I think they just had they had one camera there, so they weren't showing multiple things. But I forgot to shout out. I guess we went to a farm pumpkin patch out kind of towards you, the Red Wagon, I think. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I've been to the Red Wagon.
Yeah. We went there on Saturday, and they have a brewery there. So Daddy got a couple of beers before we got on the hay ride. So it was an enjoyable time.
You say parked in the Rockwell garage, not too shabby. All right. Did you enjoy
that's going to be the thing with the new stadium. There's not going to be as many parking places. Like I know going downtown, you park at the PNC building, it's $10 regardless of what event it is. Like now I worry parking is going to be ridiculous. Like maybe $100 for a parking spot for Browns games once we move to the new stadium.
Well,
it's not going to be good.
We got some stadium talk to be doing here. Right after we do the trivia, but we'll get into that here a little bit. And also, we did get some very, very sad news over the weekend. Jimmy Donovan passed away at the age of 68. Lost his battle to cancer. And I'll tell you what, Brian, that was kind of a blow all weekend. And what better fitting way for the Browns to win the way they did. A lot of guys like hearing Nathan Segura talk about it and everything else. It was like pretty much Jim had his hand in that entire game. Doinka one off the field goal post. interceptions pretty much right in the chest, and they drop them. You know, Rashad Bateman dropping that one pass, and he was wide open. So, yeah, it was very sad to hear that him passing away, especially being voice of the Browns for as long as he has. They did get the game ball out to Cheryl and Megan Donovan, his wife and his daughter. Stefanski and Andrew Berry personally drove it down right after the game was over with, drove it down and handed it to him. So that shows you how much Jim Donovan means to Cleveland Browns and also this city. Brian, you want to reflect on your feelings about Jim?
Yeah, down this neck of the woods, down in Hinckley. I guess he had a farm down here and some horses. But yeah, it's just been. I mean, the last couple months have really been tough for Browns fans and for people. If you notice, like I remember hearing him on the radio when they're in the Greenbrier, and I could tell, like Jim Donovan's voice. We've listened to him basically our entire adult lives. So I remember hearing him on the radio when he was at Greenbrier, and I could tell like something just wasn't right. Like he almost had like a slur in his voice that maybe wasn't always there. So I don't know if that was the steroids or whatnot. But then him coming out before the season saying that he wasn't going to be on the Browns broadcast. I kind of thought, well, maybe he's just he doesn't want to keep the Browns hanging in the balance. Like he just wants to say, hey, just don't count on me for this year. I don't want to make it about me. Just replace me. But then reading that letter, and he said his leukemia had returned, and it was very, I think he said very, very aggressive. Mm-hmm. And so when I heard that, like my stomach just sank. Like I knew that he was fighting for his life, and I just hoped that he could, because he has the best doctors in the world, some of the best doctors in the world in Cleveland. So you pray for a miracle and you pray for him, and then the Browns honoring him the way they did. And I don't know if you saw the video of Phil Dawson calling him, and Jim Donovan probably would have given anything to be there that day. So the fact that he wasn't there, you knew that things were pretty serious. But you saw that video of Jim Donovan talking to Phil Dawson, and he was his usual upbeat self, smiling the whole time, just unbelievable. So that gave you some hope there. Like, okay, maybe he's on the mend. Maybe he's going through it right now, but there's brighter tomorrows. But yeah, getting that news on Saturday, that was total gut punch. And if you're a true Browns fan and if you've grown up, in the last 10, 12, 15, 20 years, ever since the Browns came back in 99, you know who Jim Donovan is. And it's almost like just more than a broadcaster. Like he was the number one fan. Like that's something we can all relate to. He was the perfect Browns fan. Like he was somebody that you would want to watch the game with. He's not up there. He's not up there just kissing their butt because he's the employee of the Browns, and he's not just like sugarcoating everything. And he's also not up there just complaining and being a grump and just everything the Browns do is terrible and just because nobody would want to listen to that. So he was a perfect mix of trying to be optimistic but also telling it like it is. And so it was just such a joy listening to him, and definitely something that we took for granted. And now that he's gone, listening back to some of his amazing calls, it's just his enthusiasm, and just seeing the videos of him up in the booth calling these plays, and he's reacting how you and I would react. And he's
the playoff win right there. Just saying, hey, I know it's COVID. I wish you all could be here to see this, but I know that you're listening and watching, and this one's free. Like that call, like I got goosebumps right now just thinking about it, Brian. Like just some of them iconic calls that he's like Chubb over, the big run by Nick Chubb that broke loose, but he was just Brian. He was a truly genuine guy. He looked at you as if you were a friend, and he never looked like he was above you, nothing. He would talk to you. He would talk to you like a fan would talk. I mean, listening to his broadcast, it was like you're sitting at the bar with your friends, and it's just, that's what it is. You had him and Doug Deacon for the longest time, and then Nathan Segura came in here the past few years. But just, it's like sitting on the bar stool with your friends, just talking about the game and, getting insight that way from the game. He was truly one of a kind.
Yeah, and so many people in the media, the local media, the national media, they buy into their hype. They believe they're this big deal. Fans want to get a picture with them, get their autograph, and just are constantly bothering them. And they start to, just become numb to everything. And, oh, yeah, whatever, go away, kid, or sir, or whatever, I'm busy here. Hey, Jim just, he just wasn't that guy. He didn't want the fame. He didn't do it because he wanted the fame. He didn't do it because he wanted the notoriety, or he wanted to tell you how successful he was. I mean, he did it for literally the love of doing it. And, my favorite part of these videos of him up in the booth making these calls is he's looking around to the other people in the booth. He might be in the booth with like 5 or 6 or 7 other people, and he's looking around with them to like want to celebrate with them, because it's such a natural reaction. He's not just up there doing a job. He's up there as a fan, and he wants to high five Doug Deacon, or he wants, he's looking at the other people's reaction who can't believe it, who just saw what he saw. And it was just, man, it was so much fun, and he's going to be so missed. And I wish, we have so many great t-shirt companies in Cleveland. I really hope somebody does a tribute to Jim Donovan, and because I'll be the first in line to buy a Jim Donovan t-shirt and make the proceeds to Leukemia Lymphoma Society or something like that. And just honor him. He deserves, and I'm sure the Browns will do it in time. They'll honor him. They'll put his name up there somewhere, or name the booth after him or something like that. But I really feel like whatever they do, it won't be enough, just because he had such a strong connection with the city, and he's not even from here. He's from Massachusetts. But when people
think of Cleveland, you think of Jim Donovan.
Oh, absolutely. No, he is Cleveland. He represents the city better than 99.99999% of people that have been here their entire lives. And so, yeah, it's just, you figured a lot of people, when they get big enough, they want to go back home, or they want to go to New York or to LA or to Chicago or the bigger market. No, he was good. He was good. Have his farm in Hinckley. He was truly one of a kind. So be missed very much.
Do you have a favorite call of his, Bri, that you remember? I know there's so many.
Yeah, there's so many.
Sorry to put you on the spot like that, because
no. I mean, there are so many, and certainly the one that comes to mind is the only thing missing is all of you. But I remember the Run William Run one, because I was at that game, and that was, I want to say maybe 5 or 6 years into the Browns coming back, and that was like a win and get in to the playoffs, and that was just such a huge game and such a huge moment, and it was a monumental moment for him to call, because he hadn't called a ton of winning games. So that one, and just like, it was just so natural with him. He's not sitting at home like, well, if William Green gets a giant run, I'm going to say this. It was all emotion. So that one comes to mind as well. And then one I hadn't heard in a very long time, it was the Browns' first win when they came back in '99, the Hail Mary from Tim Couch. Just I heard it the last couple of days, and it just gave me goosebumps. And that one was just unbelievable. Just to think of, like, the excitement that he had, and the excitement that all of Cleveland had. It's been such a tumultuous year with the Deshaun stuff, tumultuous couple years with the Deshaun stuff. And so, like, as divided as we've become as Browns Nation, like, for us to come together in Jim's name on Sunday was something that was very, very, very cool.
Yeah, one of my favorite calls, and I can't even remember the kicker that did it. Kicker missed like 3 field goals that day, and I can't remember which guy
Cody Parkey.
was it Parkey? And when he
Mhm.
hits it, he lines up again, and guess what? He missed it. It's like, Jesus, Jim, throwing daggers. All right, here we go.
Tell us how you really feel. Yeah, that was the best part about him. Like, he's an employee of the Browns, but he's not going to just suck up to the Browns and sugarcoat everything. He's going to be himself.
And the snap, ball is down, kick is up, and guess what? He missed it. Like, Jesus. All right.
So great.
Yeah, and if anybody has anything they want to do shirt wise, anything like that, let us know. We'll promote it too.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
It would be awesome. We do have some good news on the backside of this, Brian. Let's get into our trivia. Want to thank everybody and sending prayers to Jim's family, Cheryl and Megan. He was definitely a true pioneer of what he did, and just truly amazing. Just an amazing person.
Well, and also one thing that I thought was really cool was I think watching the Sunday night game, national TV, NBC, Mike Tirico brought up the passing of Jim Donovan, and just like, yeah, so many national people, they don't get involved with the local scene and whatnot, but he knew how special Jim was to Cleveland, and it was a game that had absolutely nothing to do with Cleveland. It was the Cowboys and the Niners. But Jim had such an impact on Cleveland, had such an impact on football, had such an impact on the NFL that it seemed fitting to bring up, what he did and the trouble, the sadness that his family was going through. So yeah, tip of the hat to Mike Tirico. Collinsworth said a couple things, so I thought that was very, very well done.
Yeah, and it goes to show you how far his reach was.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Bri, we got our trivia. Got some news on the backside of trivia. So here's the sounder. It's your turn for trivia today.
Sure.
Now, as we were talking about Jim Donovan, I was on my phone with Beth from City Dogs Cleveland. And I apologize, Brian. That's what I was looking down for. She was giving me some updates. The Embrace Challenge is still going on. The kennels are still full. But, Brian, we got some good news tonight. Our boy Bacardi got adopted.
No way.
This weekend. There he is right there with his new family.
God bless you.
So
awesome.
I got to thank all of them. So right now we have one off the list, Brian. We will get the next longest resident next week to join City Dogs Cleveland. But thank you so much, whoever adopted Bacardi. If you're watching please hit me up, and we will see if we can't get you on the next show for a little bit and talk some sports with you and talk Bacardi and see how he's doing. So please, if you're watching this, hit us up. And if you know the person that adopted him, let us know, and we'll try to get a hold of you. But thank you so much for adopting Bacardi. That's a huge news tonight for us, Bri. This was going on like 7 weeks, Bri. Like I keep adding weeks to it. I think it's only like 5, but still it feels like it's been 10 weeks with this dog. So thank God that he got adopted. And if you please can help out on the Embrace Challenge. And like we always say, if you cannot adopt, volunteer, donate, whatever you can do to help out City Dogs. They do have a volunteer orientation coming up here in November. Also, they got a couple other events going on in November that you'll have to keep an eye out for on their social media pages at City Dogs CLE. All right, Brian, our trivia. How awesome is that? We finally got the dog adopted.
So great. Yep, that's fantastic. The best news of the night. Okay, here we go. Well, after gushing about Jim Donovan and what an amazing human being he was and how much he loved Cleveland, I got some New York trivia for you.
Oh, boy.
All right. So, I figured, well, maybe to rub it into New York after they beat us and probably not going to win a championship this year. Give me the last New York team to win a championship?
In baseball, basketball, or football?
All of
Any?
the above. Throw
All
hockey
the
in there
above.
too, I think.
Well, I wouldn't throw hockey in there just yet. I think the Rangers won it not too long ago.
Oh, did they? Well,
I have
you would
no.
know better than I would.
I'm
Take
just. I'm,
hockey out of there.
all right. I'm shooting from the hip, but okay. No, I like it. We're good. I like that one. All right, Bri, let's get in, start bumping the Cleveland headlines, and we will come out with our legal ham to the face fantasy football update. Here we go. And your legal ham the face fantasy football update. Here we go. Bri, it was a tough week for a lot of people. Dog Pound Greg Foster beat Runner 143-133. Michigan fans eat yellow snow beat Big Bri 140-96. Phil the
Ooh,
Kraken beat
96.
Harold Keel 140-105. Honky Cat beat Team Big Meat 139-72. Portage County Prostitutes just pulled ahead of Team Big Rod 161-156. And My
Wow.
Knicks in a Box beat Always Next Year 155-111. As of right now, your leaders in the box. Michigan fans eat yellow snow at 6-2. Portage County Prostitutes at 6-2. 3 teams at 5-3. And I believe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams. Nope, 5 teams. 5 teams at 4-4. So we are still
Oh
in
boy.
it. Here we go. All right, Brian. That is your legal ham to the face fantasy football update. There's the comments. Told you Brian was going to take an L, and he did start Baker Mayfield on that one.
Yep, sure did.
I mean, what
96, man, I must have struggled. Bad.
All right,
I thought I was doing well. I think I had Kyron Williams.
Well, you had Brock Purdy and
22.
Kyron Williams do good. And
Yep.
then Walker and St. Brown got you less than 10 points. So did London. Bowers got you 10 points. Cooper got you 1 point. Jets defense got you 3.
Cooper. Amari Cooper. What am I doing starting that guy?
And Justin had Baker Mayfield at 30. Mixon at 25. Garrett Wilson at almost 20. Brown at 11. Oh, there's a big one. Who the hell is C. Otten?
Kate Otten. Oh, yeah. Oh, there it was right there. Because Kate Otten is Tampa Bay's tight end. And so when Baker throws a touchdown, he scores twice. He gets 2 touchdowns. Baker to Kate Otten, he gets 2 of them. That's the double dip.
Also, he had Cooper Kupp got 15 points. Bri, he still had points on the bench that you did not. Well, you had Jared Goff that got 25. But
yeah,
Josh Downs had 23 points. He had Josh Allen with 23 points. He had Zach Ertz with 15 points. I mean, Zach Ertz hasn't done anything in like 6 years, right?
I'm the magical elixir, I guess.
Well, I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry.
It happens.
It's not good, though.
Get it all out of the way. Yeah. St. Brown and London, their teams combined for like 100 points, and they both stunk. So that's what makes fantasy football fun.
I know. All right, well, let's get into our Cavs, who are in a red-hot start right now. They are 4-0. They're welcoming in the LA Lakers tomorrow night with LeBron and Bronny coming in here. Maybe Bron's last time in Cleveland playing basketball. You never know. Maybe.
Could be.
But Cavs are hot right now, 4-0. Hell of a game last night against the Knicks. Came back, won that game. Garland had 34 points. Brian, this team is fun to watch right now because they are running and gunning. And dare I say, our unicorn is starting to get unicorn status. Brian, he's doing pull-up threes right now.
Pull-up really?
Oh, yeah. Knocking them down. Just, I don't know. Now, we have our starting lineup is Garland, Mitchell, Dean Wade, and then the 2 big men. But guess what? They did what we said that we should have done last year is stagger the big man, and they have been staggering them. So they start out with a big lineup starting out, and they stagger Mobley and Allen. But Brian, this is definitely a fun team to watch right now. Have you watched any of the games yet?
Nope, don't have Valleys, so have
I
not
believe
been able
it's
to. I don't know.
FanDuel Sports Network now.
Oh, that's what it's called instead of Valleys.
I guess. I don't know. I
I
heard
got
it.
FanDuel Racing. I wonder if they. Yeah, that's well, and yeah, I didn't even know they were playing the Knicks until this morning. Um, they're just not doing a good job talking about it or promoting it. That game seems to me like that game should be on national TV, and the Lakers game is not on national TV. I heard, so I don't know what they're doing. That's ridiculous. But I mean, yeah, 4-0 start. That's great. That's the best you can ask for. And yeah, we've had guys. It hasn't just all been Donovan Mitchell. It's been Mobley had a great first game. Garland had a great last game, and it's
Everybody.
yeah.
I mean,
Like I said, at this point, it's all you can ask for.
and I was talking to our boy Zach Weiss from the Across the Cavs podcast, Bri, and I said,
Yep.
"Who the hell is this Jerome guy?" And he said, "Well, they got him last year, and he got hurt like second game in. He's even playing great as a backup point guard. I think it's Ty Jerome or something like that.
Ty Jerome. Yeah.
And he's playing great as a backup, and he's giving them points that way. And it's just, Brian, they're fun to watch right now. I've watched 3 of the 4 games so far. It's just fun basketball to watch right now. And I know, and Zach hit me with this nice little gem. The last time the Cavs started 4-0, they won a championship.
Yep. Heard that.
So, bonus there. So, we got some Cavs talking. Like I said, Cavs are playing tomorrow night. Big game against the Lakers. Lakers coming to town.
I think they are on national TV against the Magic, maybe Friday night. That's correct. So they play the Magic on national TV. I don't know if it's Friday, Saturday, or Sunday.
Well, let's have some fun. Go watch some Cavs. Bri, do you have a record? We are 4 games in. Way too early record prediction from you.
Yeah, I think the Cavs are going to be a team that, I mean, in today's day and age, it's just how many wins you get in the regular season. If you're a good team, it just depends on how serious you take the regular season. I think we have the answer that the Sixers, probably the Heat, teams like that, they don't take the regular season serious. It's just all about the playoffs. I think the Cavs will take the regular season serious. I think they will try some new stuff, though, as well. Force feeding Mobley a little more. So I think they get. Do you remember how many wins they had last year by chance?
So like 52?
Huh. Okay. That's about where I was for this year.
Okay. I thought it was around the 50s. I think it was like 50 or 51, 52. I think it was low 50s.
Okay. Yeah, that's about where I'm at. 50, anywhere from 50 to 55.
Okay. I got 57 for me.
Oh, okay.
So that'd be 57 and 25.
Care to explain? Why are you high on them?
No, I like the style of basketball they're playing right now, Brian. It's more spread out. They're passing it more. They're not. It's so far. I'm saying so far. Like things can change throughout the season.
Well, yeah, 4 games
right now.
Small sample size.
It's not just one person. It's not just Mitchell taking over. Like Garland did it last night. Mitchell did it the night before. Mobley did it the first night. Like Mobley came out there in Toronto and just took over the game by himself. So it's not just one person you kind of got to watch out for. And then there's supplement cast that they have with Levert, Okoro coming in on the second bench. Our boy, what is he, School Bus? What do they name him?
Oh, yeah. Minivan. Is he playing?
He's still playing. He's still shooting like crazy. And then you got Merrill and then this Ty Jerome. Like you got a lot of good people out there. And what they did to the Knicks last night, I mean, the Knicks sold out everything to go after the Boston Celtics. I mean, they gave up so many first-round picks to get Karl Anthony Towns in there, to get Bridget. Like, they went all out to go after Boston. And guess what? Cavs took it to them last night. Just took it right to him.
I mean, we were down 13 in the fourth quarter, so
still came back and took it to him.
Right. To me, it's hard for me to get too excited about that. Like, did the Knicks just lose focus because it's a regular season game in October? I mean, yeah, it's great that. But to me, I'm the same way I was last year, and cynical me, I guess. Like, I got to see it. Before I fully buy in, I got to see it in the playoffs against these teams, because the NBA has proven to us that most teams don't care about the regular season. It's just about getting to the playoffs. And so, yeah, it's great to win them, but you always wonder, you always question the other team's effort level. But hey, like I said before, all you can do is win the games that are in front of you. So we are doing that. So till they start losing or blowing them, what else? I got nothing to complain about.
All right. Well, Brian, it's time to get into your Cleveland Browns. And man, the news that happened all week before this game, Stefanski giving a play call to Dorsey, Jameis Winston getting a start, Wyatt Teller coming back, DeJuan Jones playing left tackle. And guess what? They did it for Jimmy. That's why I said we won one for Jim. Went out and won 29-24 against the red-hot Baltimore Ravens, Bry. What a game. We finally got a quarterback to throw over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. He targeted all the wide receivers, not just one. Cedric Tillman looks like a number 1 wide receiver right now. He had 7 catches, 2 touchdowns. Like, it just... Bry, this was a totally different team Sunday than what we've watched the previous 7 games or whatever it was. Like, this team came out with a purpose. They played a lot more 11, 12, 13 personnel. Under center a lot more. Jameis Winston did not have happy feet. He did not scoot out. He barely got touched the entire game. Nick Chubb only got 3 yards of carry, but you saw the Nick Chubb stuff coming back. He's getting his feet back under him, because those 2 runs for, 2-yard runs started turning into 5-yard runs and 6-yard runs, because it's just Nick Chubb. He's going to have one of those games where he's going to break loose. And Bry, I can't wait for that. But Bry, this team was a totally different team. You had Stefanski focused on the game at hand and not have to worry about play calling. Dorsey called one heck of a game. I mean, it wasn't anything spectacular, but it's what you needed to do to win. And the defense, Brian, the defense showed up, and we got some questions. We got some people hurt that we'll talk about here in a little bit. But Brian, what did you think about this win against the Baltimore Ravens?
Oh, I mean, so many layers to this game. It was just all over the place for me as a fan. And I think when you text me, it was shortly after, and I was like, I don't think I cheered once during this game, because I just didn't know how to take it. And I was still so angry at the Browns. I was still so frustrated that it took 7 weeks for this effort to come out. Like, I was like I said, last week against the Bengals, that's my final stand. Once we drop to 1-6, we're done. Our goose is cooked. And so now, against one of the best teams in the AFC, you choose to have this effort. And so I was just really down in the dumps. Like, I honestly didn't care if we won that game or not in the moment. But since then, thinking about the Jim Donovan effect and thinking about how huge it was, for his legacy, like this was a game for Jim Donovan. This wasn't really a game for the Browns. The Browns doesn't really, it affects their draft position a little bit. And who knows if they go on some crazy, ridiculous run and get to 9-8, maybe they have a chance to make the playoffs. But in all reality, this was a game for Jim Donovan. This was a game for us as Browns fans to come back together, to feel good about it, to celebrate Jim Donovan. And then, just like you brought up in the beginning of the show, so many things that have gone against us all year started to go our way. How many dropped interceptions, the Kyle Hamilton ball that a high school kid can catch, and you have an all-pro guy dropped it.
Nathan Segura swears that Jim Donovan swiped that out of his hands.
How else can you explain it? All-pro dude, ball thrown right to him. He catches it 3 times, but ends up dropping it, and we score a game-winning touchdown on the next play. Like that
And then
stuff doesn't. A guy having a ball pop off his face mask when he's wide open. Nobody's even close to him for 40 yards. Another guy, Jameis throws it right to him in the end zone. There's no Browns players in the area, and he gets his hands on it and drops it. I understand this stuff probably happens, but for so many things, the greatest kicker of all time missing a 50-yard field goal, our kicker who's struggled severely, doinks it, and it hits the upright and goes in. Like you can't explain this stuff. And then just other things, like so many other things going our way, like a ticky tack. There was like Lamar Jackson ran for 20 yards or something. It gets called back, ticky tack hold that the Browns have been getting called for all year long up to this point.
Mm-hmm.
Now the other team's getting called for it, and it's working in our favor. JOK, goes in for Lamar and sticks his leg out and trips him, and it doesn't get called. It's blatant as day. It doesn't get called. So, like, okay, now finally the luck is coming to the Browns side. We needed every bit of it to win this game, and it was so awesome. It was so awesome to watch it, and looking back on it now, I can appreciate it. But in the moment, I was so upset. Like, not upset. I wouldn't say I was upset, but I was just numb to like, great. Now you're going to make that catch. Jameis is throwing the ball at the feet of Elijah Moore, and he's picking it up, and he's like looking like an all-pro receiver. Like, now you choose to do that when our season's in the toilet. Where was this 3 weeks ago? And so, all this stuff you can't really explain. And then there's other things you can't explain. Like Jameis, why was our offensive line looking so much better? Like, we were one of the best offensive lines in the league, maybe like the entire year. This game was one of the best offensive line performances of the entire year, I think I heard.
Mm-hmm.
But things you can't explain, like now we finally have our 5 best offensive linemen on the field. Like every game up to this point, we only had 3 of the 5 at most. Sometimes Joel Bitonio was our 1. We have 1 of 5. Now we have our 5 best offensive linemen there. And, DeJuan Jones moving to left tackle. Something I was asking them to do in the preseason. Like, hey, we think Jack Conklin should be good. So let's we know Jed Wills has 1 year left. Let's just go ahead and make that switch to DeJuan Jones on the left side now. They just didn't do it. And I mean, because guys were hurt, because this was our healthiest game of the year. This was our healthiest game of the year. We got all our offensive linemen back. We have Juan Thornhill back. I know we lost Delpit and Ward and JOK, but they still had an impact on the game. And then, Baltimore's without their 2 best quarterbacks. They have a shaky secondary to begin with, and they're without their 2 best quarterbacks, and then 2 of their best defensive tackles go down, or defensive linemen go down. And so we're playing backups. And so, like it's just crazy how everything that has gone against us for 6 weeks now is starting to go in our favor. And it was just, like I said, I can't explain it. The only thing you can say is, certainly Jim Donovan had a hand in this, and I wouldn't argue that because there's no other explanation for it.
No, there's really not. And like you said, I know that Jameis threw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. Brian, he could have had probably 5 or 6 interceptions at that point in time. And yes, and I heard, and I don't know if you listened to the Boys in the Morning with Lima and Ken Carmen, but they were talking to Greco, and they were asking Greco about having a different quarterback behind them. And he said it's, I don't want to paraphrase it, but he said pretty much it's nice to have a guy that is going to be behind you because they don't have eyes in the back of their head. And you know where that guy is going to be at. With Deshaun, you didn't have that because Deshaun got happy feet as soon as something started happening and started trying to bail out. Winston never even bailed out once. Like, he got hit a few times. I'm not saying he didn't, but he didn't bail out once. The wide receivers actually caught the ball. It's the pass that he threw to Njoku for the touchdown.
Yeah.
And he's not afraid.
Great play.
And I think that was the thing that this offense needed was Winston was not afraid to push the ball downfield. I think Watson was afraid
Totally
to
agree.
push the ball downfield.
Absolutely.
And Winston just went in there and said, hey, Brian, we were having intermediate pass. Jerry Jeudy finally got yards after the catch.
Yeah.
We haven't had that all year. You had Tillman out of nowhere doing what he did. I mean, Elijah Moore, like it was like, what is going on? And it was like the defense did what the defense had to do. Like the defense played okay. They gave up some mistakes. But this was an offensive game where the defense just played good enough to get you the win. But the offense said, okay, it's our turn now. And I don't know if it is play calling, quarterback change, offensive line, wide receivers, Jim Donovan. We'll find out next week. But, Bri, this looked like, I'm being dead serious. This looked like a totally different team than what we had the first few weeks of this whole season. And it goes to show you how much things can change. But, like, you're sitting there, and for all the people that hate Deshaun Watson, this fuels your fire because guess what? Jameis threw for 300 yards. For all the people that like Deshaun Watson, well, play calling changed, offensive lines in, they got, weapons now. He probably would have done the same thing. And this is where we're at right now. We're still in a limbo at quarterback. And Justin, just speculation off of one game, brought it up. And he says, if Winston leads us to the playoffs, Watson is healthy to start the next season, who do you start? That is if they re-sign Winston.
I mean, hell if I know.
I mean, but after but this is what people are talking about because the offense was broken with Deshaun Watson, and Brian, it looked like Kevin Stefanski's offense with Winston in there.
That was probably the most confusing thing about it was, okay, Kevin Stefanski finally gives up his play calling, and now Ken Dorsey is calling the plays, and it looks like the most Stefanski offense we've had all year. Like,
exactly.
I don't understand it. I really don't, unless Deshaun is just like, I'm not going under center. I'm only going to operate in shotgun, or he just feels more comfortable in shotgun. Like, it's something we've been calling for. Well, as Browns fans, we've been calling for a very long time to run the ball more. And like, clearly this team is better from under center. Whatever offense they want to run, they need to be under center a lot more, even if it's 50-50. Like, just to be in shotgun all the time is just, we've proven that that's not going to work. We don't have the weapons. We don't have the quarterback. We don't have any running game can't sustain that. So, but yeah, I mean, it's two different scenarios with Winston and Watson, and Winston played two moons better than Deshaun Watson. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Winston didn't play better than Watson. Winston was clearly better. Now the question you ask yourself is why? Why is he so much better? Is he immensely more talented than Deshaun Watson? I don't know if that's necessarily the case. I think it's mental. I think it's all mental. Deshaun Watson has zero confidence. He'll tell you all the time that he does, but also like the pressure. Like, Jameis Winston's coming in as a backup. He's been a backup for several years. He can play free and easy and just make all these throws and not worry about, hey, if it gets picked off, whatever, it gets picked off. Whereas Deshaun's like gripping, like, these fans are going to let me have. If I throw an interception, I'm going to hear it. So I cannot throw an interception. That's how he's operating. So he's not even taking these chances. Like, Winston's taking these chances. He's just flying by the seat of his pants. And maybe it has to do with her personality. But as we saw this week, just because you throw an interception doesn't mean the defense is going to catch it. You can throw interceptions and they drop it. And so, Deshaun Watson clearly needs to take more chances, and he's too afraid. He doesn't trust his line. He doesn't trust his receivers. And Winston comes in there and he's just like, you know what? What do we have to lose? We're supposed to lose by what? You pick them to lose by 3 touchdowns. I picked them to lose by 17 points or something like that. What do you have to lose? You just go out there and you just look at it and you have fun. And, if you do that and you have fun and the defense sees you having fun, the defense, it's going to be all talk about the offense, but the defense played a heck of a game to hold the Ravens to what they did. And I can't say enough good things about everything. It just Sunday everything turned up brown and orange, and like I said, I can't explain it, but certainly it felt like the Browns nation came back together in the name of Jim Donovan, and it was great to have something to celebrate at the end of it.
Oh yeah, and definitely. I mean, it's a win, Brian. You and I were talking about if they're what's the over under? Are they going to win more than 2 games
Right,
this year? Like
right.
we were talking
And
about
now,
that last week, and now,
yeah,
Brian, now you know what they do? They're the Cleveland Browns, and they give you hope again because guess what? We win this weekend. We're
I know,
3-6 going into the bye, and
I
Brian, you
know.
never know. Brian, guess what? The last team that was 3-6 when they went into the bye, Los Angeles Rams, and they made the playoffs.
Well, yeah, I mean the
I'm just
AFC is
saying.
wide open.
I'm just saying because but we got to see this week, Bri. I think this was a fluke game. I really do. And I know Phillips is going to just chop this up into bulletin board, receipts, send them back to us. But Bri, I really do think this was kind of
No,
a fluke game for Jim Donovan. And I want to see what next week brings. Now, if they look like the same team from this week to next week, Bride, then we have some serious conversations about somebody that got paid a lot of money to be quarterback here because you said you don't know if Deshaun trusted his wide receivers or his offensive line. Bride, what if it's the other way? What if the offensive line didn't trust Deshaun? What if the receivers didn't trust Deshaun? Like it works both ways on that one. And we'll get into that here a little bit later, but we're going to celebrate a win. We can talk to Deshaun all we want to later. He's injured. We're not going to do that right now, but Bride, Jameis Winston did look good. He did almost throw some picks. For your players of the game, for your offense, I mean, Jameis has got to be up there. You want to add a couple more of players of the game for your offense?
Cedric Tillman, I thought, last 2 weeks he's been a number one wide receiver for what it's worth, and before we were thinking just another Andrew Berry bust, but for 2 weeks he's ever since Amari Cooper left, he's answered the call, and so I think absolutely he needs some shouting out, and then defensively, I guess I'd probably give it to like Darius Smith, just.
Mm-hmm.
Doing unbelievable things. It's such a tall task when you're playing against a freak athlete like Lamar Jackson, and for him to get him on the ground a couple times and get him feeling the pressure a couple times, just he's every bit as good as Myles Garrett was.
Now I want you to hear the stat line, Brian, because you're going to love this. So you know that Jameis Winston 27 of 41 for 334 and 2 touchdowns. 3 touchdowns. Cedric Tillman, 7 catches, 99 yards, 2 touchdowns. Average, 14 yards a catch. Elijah Moore, 8 receptions, 85 yards, 10 yards a catch. Judy, 5 receptions, 80 yards, 15 yards a catch. Njoku, 5 for 60 yards. Those are the big 4, and they got spread around to everybody. And then you have Chubb in here, 16 for 52. Would have been a lot more, but they kind of pigeonholed him there towards the end. And then Devontae Foreman, 5 for 26. Offensive-wise, Bri, we've been asking to see where the hell Elijah Moore's been. And for him to get 8 catches and 85 yards, yes, Cedric Tillman's been great. But we traded to get Elijah Moore here, and he has not even caught a ball in like the first 7 games. And he goes out with 8 catches for 85 yards. For me, that's my number one guy right there. Njoku's second. Defensive-wise, Brian, my man, Grant Delpit. Did anybody lay a hit on Derrick Henry and then tell Derrick Henry he's too small? Got some cojones on him, so I'm going to go with him. And also, JOK was amazing until he got hurt. Now, Brian, we do have to talk. You're frozen. Hopefully, you're coming back here in a second. And it looks like that. Okay, I'll see if he comes back here in a second. We do have to talk. Denzel Ward is out with his 6th concussion now. Also, JOK got carted off. He is released from a hospital with a neck injury. He had feeling in all of his fingers and toes. We do have some injuries on the defense. They're going to kind of hinder everything. So, with that being said, we got next week coming up. We're playing the Chargers. It's going to be a hard game as it is. For me personally, I need to see this team perform like they did this week. Now, it's going to be hard, especially with those key pieces missing, with Denzel Ward missing and with JOK missing. That's going to be huge, especially against a guy that's a rookie, Jim Harbaugh offense who loves to run the ball, and Herbert, who has been playing really good for a certain amount of time. There he is. Brian, you're back.
Sorry about that. Technical
you're
difficulties.
Fine. No, you're fine. I was talking about next week, and we talked about Denzel Ward getting a 6th concussion now. JOK getting hurt, getting carted off, with everything being, numbed, and he's healthy now. He's out. He's probably going to miss a couple weeks here too. What do you see about this team? I think that this team matches up well against the Chargers because they can stop the run if they want to. But the only thing that scares me, though, is Herbert and McConkey have got a connection going on right now. And that kid, as a rookie, Bri, I'm glad I drafted him as a rookie because he gave me a lot of points this week in fantasy. What are the things that scare you about the Chargers who are coming into town?
Probably the main thing that scares me is their defense. I think their defense is maybe a little overlooked because you have Harbaugh and his scheme on offense, and you have McConkey making an impact. You got Herbert, who's still a very good quarterback. So I think now they really haven't played like the toughest of schedules. So I can't sit here and say their defense is elite, but they've put up some pretty good numbers, holding teams down. So their defense still scares me. I think they got Bosa. Do they still have Khalil Mack?
I believe so. They
got Khalil Mack. They got Derwin James. So they got some players on defense. So yeah.
And they got Dupree. That's another big one, Dupree.
Okay. Oh, Bud Dupree?
Mm-hmm. No, Dupree. The guy from God damn it. Yeah, Bud Dupree.
Bud Dupree. Yeah, former Steeler.
Oh, they got the Honey Badger. Shit, they got the Honey Badger too?
He's been on he's played for every team.
Oh my God.
So, but I mean, like, the way we're feeling as Browns fans now, you just beat the second best team in the AFC. Mm-hmm. So you should be able to beat the Chargers too. So I wouldn't understand now if we didn't have that game last week to give us some hope. I think it'd be a tough game, but I'm not sure what the spread is, but I would imagine it's probably pretty close to a pick 'em.
It's I think they're favored by 2.
Okay, which is probably fair. Give them the respect that their record is. I think they're 4-3 or something like that. So they're going to be one of the teams that you're fighting for. If you can make a run here, they're going to be a team you're fighting for a wild card spot because Kansas City's going to run away with that division. So if you can get a win this week, it'll be a big one. But yeah, the thing that makes them difficult on offense is Harbaugh wants to run the ball. He drafted guys up front. Joe Alt is a beast. He's a mountain. And J.K. Dobbins is having a good bounce back year. So they're going to want to run the ball. They can run the ball. So you got to stop that first and foremost. And then, what makes them difficult is, if they don't run the ball, okay, well, now you got a top 10 quarterback who's back there slinging it around. He doesn't have a ton of weapons, though. So you got kind of locked in on McConkey.
I mean,
right.
McConkey had 6 receptions, 111 yards, 2 touchdowns, averaged 18 yards a catch.
Wow.
And we're going to be missing our top cornerback.
Right. Yeah. And I think they got this Quentin. Oh, what the heck's his last name? I won't say Jefferson, but I don't think that's
it. He's not there. Jalen Rager's there. Jordan Palmer.
Yeah. Kind of some guys.
So
Disley. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Nobody really scares you.
No.
As far as the wide receivers go.
But it's a Jim Harbaugh offense, and Jim Harbaugh is known to put pressure as a running team first, and then kind of go off of the run. Like J.K. Dobbins, like Bri, I I love J.K. Dobbins. You know that. I'm an Ohio State fan through and through. And his time at Baltimore hurt every year. And the bounce back year he's having right now with them, I'm enjoying it for him because I thought he would just been done. I thought he was going to be Montario Hardesty. Had all the hype coming out, got hurt. You know what I mean? Like, so to see him play good, but like they got rid of all their old wide receivers. Williams is gone, Allen is gone, on to greener pastures, and they drafted this McConkey guy, and like they're playing hardball offense right now. And I think that Herbert's buying in, the whole team's buying into it, and the team's behind it. And it's amazing when you get a team behind, your coach and how they want to run things, that they just kind of go with the flow with it.
Sure. Yeah. It's just they're going to want to win ugly. They're going to want to run the ball and play defense. So I don't see a super high scoring game. But they have the capability to play from behind with Herbert. And as long as the receivers can get open, can hang on to the ball, he's going to put it where it needs to be.
All right, Brad, give me a score predict for this game. Now, we both missed last game. But now we got a little hype on this one. They won the last one. You said you're going to get off the train. Are you getting back on the train?
No, I mean, what I meant by that was I'm off the train as in hoping that they can make a run to the playoffs. I think they can still win some games, and this past week kind of proved it to me. Like I said before, you can beat the Ravens, you can beat the Chargers, you can beat pretty much every team on your schedule other than maybe the Chiefs. So if you can beat them, I'm riding the train. I'm buying in still. I think they keep the momentum going into the bye week. Like I said, I think it's an ugly one. I think they probably find a way to hang on to a couple of those interceptions that Winston throws. But yeah, if we can keep making our kicks and the offensive line can keep them clean, I'll go Browns. 23. And Chargers 17.
I am very close with you, brother. I'm going to go Browns 24, Chargers 20. I nice. Think you and I think it's going to be a muddy kind of game, and we'll see what happens. But I think that with Stefanski now not doing the play call and actually have eyes on everything and be able to manage the game. And that's the one thing I wanted to bring up to you, Bri. We didn't really get into Stefanski giving up play calling, and I'll get into it real quick. Bri, all the years that he's been here, he has not budged on giving up play calling. He had Van Pelt, who he handpicked, who knew his offense. Everything else would not give up play calling. Then, magically, they are 1-6, and he gives up play calling. Bri, was this forced from above?
Hell if I know. I have no idea. Well, I mean, because I think to me, I view it as kind of like a Hail Mary, to where, hey, your starting quarterback is out for the year. We're 1-6. What have we got to lose? Let's try something new. What the hell? It doesn't really matter. Let's just try it, see if we can have some fun, see if it looks any different. So, I mean, that's all I can think of. Whether it came from above, I don't think it came from above. But everything we've listened to their press conferences. When everyone asks a question, what does he always say? It's collaborative. I collaborate with these guys, and so I think they've had onward discussions about it. So I don't think somebody came down with an iron fist and said, you have to give up play calling, otherwise you're out.
It feels so weird. It feels so
I
weird.
I agree. Why?
All this time.
Why now?
Yeah, exactly. That's my question. Why now? Because everybody asked you at the beginning of the season. No. He's going to help. I'm going to call plays. Even with Van Pelt. Oh, no, I'm not going to give it. But now of all times, you're going to give up play calling. Like, it just feels so weird, the timing of him giving up play calling, that it feels like it came down from somebody above saying, hey, you got to give up play calling and worry about the team instead of the offense right now.
Yeah, Like I said before, just the whole thing, the play calling, how the offense looks, just boggles my mind. Like Stefanski finally gives up play calling, and the offense looks more like the Stefanski offense that it has all year.
I know, right?
Why?
I
I
know.
don't know, but we had success with it, so let's keep running that back. Whatever we did, keep calling those plays.
All right. Well, Bri, let's get into some Fat Boy stuff. You ready for some Fat Boy stuff?
Okay.
And now it's time for Fat Boy Tuesday.
All right. It is time for Fat Boy Tuesday. We're going to talk some Halloween food tonight. Bri. Halloween candy is always a top go. Bri, what are your some favorite Halloween candies?
It's always the chocolate stuff, you know. I'm not ton into the sweets, the nerds, the Starburst, Skittles, all the fruity stuff. Chocolate stuff is always tops. Kit Kats, I think of.
Oh,
I don't know. You know, one thing I haven't seen in a while is a Butterfinger. Do they still make Butterfingers?
they still make Butterfingers, but I haven't seen them in a while either because you always get
No.
like the bag mix pack and it's like M&M's, Hershey's, you know, Kit Kat with the Good Bar, Mr. Good Bar is always in there or whatever it is. You know,
Yeah. I like that. Crackle.
Oh yeah, Crackle. Oh my God, Crackle is the best. It's just Crunch. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, it's just Crunch Bar. Yeah, it's just Crunch
It's
Bar.
Crunch Bar. Justin said Sour Patch, Cotton Candy, Sweet, and Roll. Oh, Tootsie Rolls. Oh yeah, Tootsie Rolls are.
No,
God,
thank you.
great. Really, you're not a Tootsie Roll fan? All right, here we go. Candy corn.
Nothing special. Nothing special.
Candy
Oh, come
corn?
on now. No,
No?
don't make me. No, of course
Come
not.
on.
That's
What
terrible.
about the pumpkin?
No, also terrible. Although somebody did tell me if you eat peanuts with candy corn, it tastes like a Snickers. And it kind of does. So if you have a
Especially if
bunch of
they're.
candy corn laying around and you don't like it, get some peanuts.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a fan of candy corn. I know people hate
You're
it.
gross.
I just, hey,
Terrible.
I'm Brian. Look at me. Of course, I'm gross. I get that. Especially the little
Do
pumpkins.
you like black
too.
jelly beans too?
No, that's where I draw the line. Black
Huh.
jelly beans.
Interesting.
Hey, mint and black jelly beans are the devil.
Mint.
Telling
Terrible.
you, dude,
You
I
don't like
cannot
an
do
Andes mint?
I don't like mint. I don't like mint.
That's
Period.
terrible. Ugh.
I am not a mint guy. Mint chocolate chip cookies can die in the trash for all I care. I hate
So
mint.
what's your top candies for
So like
Halloween?
dude, I'm a Reese cup guy. I love Reese cups. You get the little
Sure.
mini Reese
Oh,
cups,
yeah.
pop those things like candy. M&Ms. I am a peanut M&M guy. Regular
Right.
M&Ms are cookie, but I'm a peanut M&M guy. Crackle, like you said, Crackle. Oh God, Crackle's so good. I'm not a fan of like the solid chocolate, like the Hershey chocolate. You know, you gotta have like almonds in it or the Crackle or something like that. I'm not a. There's Snickers. Snickers hit the candy corn is the best. Tastes like a payday. Justin in here with here. Whatchamacallits. Here's some whatchamacallits coming in.
Oh, now that's my favorite. Way to go, Craig. Yes, sir.
And then Justin said it's a fatty fail for not liking mint. I'm not a fan. I can't get myself to do it. Like I've tried it. I've eaten Thin Mints. I've eaten everything else. I cannot do it. Okay. Okay. I don't know if I can put that one up here. We have a new person, Virgil, in the chats, and I don't know if I can put that one
Clean it up. You don't have to put it up there. What's he
anything
talking
chocolate. Craig actually had a whatchamacallit today.
Oh, yeah.
Is
I also make a whoozy what's it.
Yeah, everybody likes their Hershey squirt chocolate. That's how you make chocolate milk.
So we made the epic mistake of buying Halloween candy on like September 17th. We bought 2 big bags of Halloween candy on September 17th, and
You ate it all, didn't you?
we're down to basically a few random ones and a bunch of Hershey bars.
Oh, Brian.
My wife picked out all the milk duds, which don't get me started. Milk duds are not that great. I'm not a big fan of milk duds.
They're not that great, but that's the only time you get them is Halloween. I feel like.
But I feel like I was telling her, I chew on them for 10 minutes, and I'm still stuck with a ball of caramel, and I just swallow it down like a pill. It's just their milk duds are nothing. So yeah, she got rid of all the milk duds. I picked through like the Kit Kats and some Reese's, so all we have left are like Hershey bars. So I feel bad. And last week after our show, having a couple beers, I was afterwards. I'm like, you know what, I could go for something sweet, but nothing was really calling my name out of the bag. So I had a bag of my wife's very expensive lactation cookies.
Oh, Bri.
It tasted like carb. There was like oatmeal raisins, and they were not good. But I'm like, I was expecting them to taste like Famous Amos or something, and they were like not good. And yeah, I got very emotional afterwards. So I don't know what happened there, but yeah, it was a regrettable moment for me.
Do we need to peel back the curtain about the cookies that a certain Gardena ate out of your cousin's office?
Oh, the dog cookies. I understand. So my dog has these cookies that look like mint Oreos, and they're dog cookies, and so I can understand how that happened.
All right, I can actually do it. All right, he said his ex-wife dressed up as a nun in Manchester, England for Halloween. She was charged with impersonating and received a 5-year prison sentence, but he won't miss her. I don't know.
Well done, that was Virgil?
That was Virgil.
Thank you, Virgil. You the man.
All right, so we got Bit of Honeys in here. Oh my God, I love Fat Boy. This is much better than me doing the Halloween version down in Florida when I'm just yelling at random people at Walt Disney down there going, "What's your favorite candy?"
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, you over here. I'm on a podcast. Come over here. What's your favorite candy?
Oh my God, that was a Knob Creek day of all Knob Creek days. Let me tell you.
Yeah. Oh, you're like the Family Feud guy. What's your favorite candy? Survey says, get the hell out of here.
All right, so I do have to ask one more before we flip over to our top 3. Brian, what about Whoppers?
Oh, pass.
You're a pass on the Whoppers.
Yeah, I mean, I used to hate them as a kid, but now I'm just like, they do nothing for me. So, I mean, I guess if it's the only sweet I have in the house, I'm eating it, but not a huge fan.
All right, so I do have to tell this story before we flip over. So while we were at church on Sunday, the kids had got Halloween candy from Saturday from the trunk or treat at the church. Okay, Whoppers are okay. I like them. They're not bad. So I'm sitting there in the pew. We're singing songs, hymns and everything else. And I look over. My dad reaches in his pocket, starts pulling out candy and handing it to my kids. Wow. In the car ride there, I'm telling my kids not to eat any more candy. They're getting Pappy treats in the pew at church, just mowing down. They got M&Ms. They got Whoppers. They got Reese cups. I'm pretty sure he pulled some Hershey bars out of his pocket. And I'm looking at him going, are you serious right now? We are in the middle of church and you're feeding my kids candy? And he just looks at me and goes, I don't know what you're talking about. And just starts looking up in the air. I'm like, you son of a...
Were they still in the wrapper?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's totally fine.
He brought him with him. He's sitting there just right beside him, just hand them candy. And every time they started singing, he'd tap them, hand him another piece of candy. I'm like, what are you doing, Dad? And then I'm like, okay, he's Grandpa. I get it. He's just feeding them candy. I get it.
Yeah, if they're out of the wrapper and he's just pulling them out of his pocket, that'd be a little weird, but in the wrapper is fine.
Brian, we're going to have to do this next week. Next week for Fat Boy Tuesday, we're going to have to talk some best M&Ms. Because Eric,
we can do that. There's a bunch of them now.
M&M peanut butter. Oh, it's so good.
Also very good.
All right, let me get our top 3, and then we will get out of here, brother. And All right, so I do got to pull this one up because this is right up our alley. Virgil said, "As a Brit, Whoppers are the same thing as Hooters." All right, here we go. And the
What
rails
does
are
that
off.
mean? What is
You
that?
know what that means. You
They
definitely
call
know what that
Hooters
means.
Whoppers over there?
It-
I'll get down with that.
Is it the same Hooters that we eat at with chicken wings? That's what I'm kind of curious about.
I know, right?
All right, so our top
We'll
three
say,
tonight,
Virgil.
right, is Halloween movies that we will watch during Halloween right now.
Yep.
And Bry, if you want to go first, go ahead. If not, I will go first.
No, I got it. I'll be quick. Number 3. It's my wife's favorite movie, so I got to watch it. Hocus Pocus. I've seen it maybe 2 or 3 times. Yeah,
That was
it's
honorable
okay,
mention.
but it's her
Honorable
favorite
mention
movie,
on my
so
list.
watch it with her. Number 2, E.T. Going back to my childhood. Still kind of
E.T.?
freaked out about it, but yeah, he was nice. Yeah.
E.T. is a Halloween movie?
Of course, it's a Halloween movie. Takes place during Halloween.
All right.
You know,
I'm not judging. Go ahead.
every list I saw had ET on it, so I went with ET. Like I told you before the show, I've seen probably 10% of Halloween movies, and I've heard of maybe 20% of them. So that's a Halloween movie to me. My number 1 is Scream, the first
Oh,
one.
the original? There you go.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. All right. So my top 3. Bry, I'm watching it with my kids. Number 3, Ernest Scared Stupid. One of the gems of Halloween that you have got to watch.
Love Ernest.
All right. Number 2, Leprechaun. And we talked about that before the show.
Oh, yeah.
And number 1 that I watched with my kids just not too long ago, Casper.
Okay. Is there original? What's the original? Didn't they? I feel like they've remade that a few
Not the
times.
cartoon ghost. The one with not Nicole Richie. Good God, I can't think of her name.
Cole Kidman?
Devin Swana was in it. It was like a 90s movie.
Yeah, the original.
No, the original is a cartoon back in like the 70s.
Oh. But I mean, Casper's still a cartoon, right? In your movie you're talking about? Yeah.
Well, sort
That's
of.
what I'm thinking about.
It's not a cartoon. It's
I mean,
real
the ghost
people.
itself is a cartoon, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Craig said E.T. is my favorite. Charlie
See,
Brown.
thank you, Craig.
Love Ernest from. Oh, I didn't even think about that. The Crow. The Crow, Scream,
Never
and
seen it.
Nightmare on Elm
Never
Street.
heard of it.
Oh my God, you would love
Nightmare on Elm Street, yes, very good. The original, Halloween's good. Nightmare on Elm Street.
All the Chuckies.
Chucky. I forgot about Chucky, but yeah, Chucky's a very good one.
All right.
Halloween, what's the Jason? Friday the 13th. Very good.
Oh, yeah. All right, Bryce. So give me that trivia. Brought to you by City Dogs Cleveland. And thank you, whoever adopted Bacardi. You're the man.
Awesome job. So I'm looking for the last New York team. And we went 3 major sports. It might be 4 major sports to win a world championship, I guess.
Right. I'm going to go with the New York Giants with Eli Manning.
Okay. And your year?
I don't know the year. I think it was 08.
They did win it in 08, but they won it since then as well.
2012.
I think 11. Well, it had 11 down. So
Okay.
2011. Yeah. 08 was the Patriots, perfect season that they ended. Then they beat them again in 2011. So isn't that crazy? All the teams, they have two football teams, 2 baseball teams, 2 hockey teams, and Cleveland's won championship more recently than New York.
Eric actually said Islanders. We're not counting hockey in this. So
yeah. Well, and the Liberty won this year, so if you really want to count that, and I think there was an MLS team that won. So I mean, they have these secondary championships, but I'm talking big 3.
I love you, Bri.
Being real.
No, you're fine. You're fine. All right. We are here at the end of the show. Please give us a like, subscribe, follow on all of our socials. We are on iHeartRadio, also Spotify. If you want to catch the audio, if you want to catch us live, catch us there. Please go give us a like and subscribe there. Brian, we are definitely at the end of the show. God bless them, brother.
God bless you. God bless America. Rest in peace, Jimmy Donovan. Love you.
We want to thank our troops and first responders for everything you guys do. We could not do this show without you guys and what you guys do for us. And with that note, Jim, thank you for an amazing life and amazing time with the Cleveland Browns. We are uncorked, unloaded. We are out. We will see you guys next Tuesday. Have a good night, everybody. What's that, homie?
Hey.
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 I'm going to the